Hey there guys, so today we have a bottle share recap. Basically this weekend I had an amazing bottle share and I thought I'd share with you guys some of my thoughts about those beers. If you don't want to hear me run through my thoughts, you could just look below and I sort of post my ratings of the beers that I had that evening. But I thought I'd mention some highlights and again give you quick thoughts about some of the beers I had. So shared a bunch of beers and I guess the first one to talk about is Lawson's Triple Sunshine. A triple IPA from Churchills Finest. Really hard beer to seek, but it was pretty amazing. It sort of reminds me about how good Double Sunshine is because this was the first time of me having Triple Sunshine. What a ridiculous citra and tropical aroma on that. No sweetness actually for a triple IPA. It's really just malt forward and really maybe leans towards 9% instead of 10.5 that it really drinks at. What an amazing beer. I would argue that you probably should chase after something like a Treehouse or Hill Farmstead beer or just a more accessible Lawson's beer. It's a really hard beer to get and I don't think it's that amazing, but it is most certainly the best triple IPA I've had. And yeah, so moving on, we also had a side-by-side between Cali Brandy Hunahpu and Double Barrel Hunahpu. It was very much like Hunahpu with a really interesting brandy kind of skew to it. A lot more, I prefer the aroma on the Cali Brandy compared to the Double Barrel, but the Double Barrel just was absolutely amazing on the palate. It has a sweet liqueur because it is barreled with rum and brandy barrels. So you really get a sweet kind of liquor that comes in onto Hunahpu and it really balances the beer out somehow because Hunahpu in general is a really fudgy, sweet, chocolatey beer and somehow that liquor comes in and just really that liqueur comes in and really offers another dimension, some dark fruit, and helps blend those cinnamon and spicy pepper flavors together. Double Barrel Huna, just one of the best barrel-aged stouts I've had. Moving on, the best beer of the night was barrel-aged Abraxas, which Abraxas already also a spicy stout, and the barrel in that beer is just amazing. It just offers tons and tons of vanilla. What I specifically like about that beer is that it's not overly chocolatey like the base beer with Hunahpu. So for me, you really have a wonderful shining of the cinnamon and the pepper heat coming through, and then it has this wonderful vanilla kind of ice cream, chocolate ice cream kind of note coming in. It's just absolutely amazing. Barrel-aged Abraxas is, yeah, probably one of the best barrel-aged stouts I've ever had. It's up there with bourbon barrel-aged Vanilla Bean Dark Lord. What an absolute treat. We also had Good People Brewing's El Gordo, if you don't know. That's a 13.9% Imperial Stout, non-barrel aged. And having that beer, you might even be tricked into thinking that it is barrel aged, but it's not. And it's a huge beer. I mean, it's basically 14%. But somehow it is balanced. It's not overly sweet. It's a little bit sweet, but the alcohol comes in to sort of balance it out. There's dark fruit and roasted bitter malt to sort of cut away from that sweetness. It's a huge beer, and it's sort of what you'd want Dark Lord to taste like. If you guys haven't had Dark Lord, it is very sweet beer. Also has a lot of umami soy sauce flavors, as it is a notorious beer for having those issues. But El Gordo is one of the best straight non-barrel aged imperial stouts I've come across. Moving on, we also had Churchills Finest from Port Brewing. Having had Parabola recently, I was comparing Churchill's Finest to it, just on the flavor profile and mouthfeel. It really is a relatively similar beer, just really well built barrel-aged imperial stout. But for some reason, I just like the Churchill's Finest a little bit more. It has a little bit more balance of bitterness. Parabola for me is a little too bitter and almost acrid sometimes. Churchill's Finest just cuts away at that, really well balanced, just a solid, phenomenal, world-class barrel-aged imperial stout. I'd say it's probably the best coming from the West Coast. Off the top of my head, I don't know what else on the West Coast as a barrel-aged imperial stout. Oh, I guess one of my favorite beers, I guess Bourbon Barrel-Aged Dark Star is from the West Coast. So I guess from California. So yeah, if you want to look for California barrel-aged imperial stout, Churchill's Finest 2014 is my favorite. And then we also had Jester King's Atrial Rubicite against Funk Factory Fram Rude. Both are raspberry wild ales. If you guys don't already know, Atrial Rubicite is one of my favorites wild ales ever. It is absolutely amazing. It is literally fruit jam, raspberry jam and preserves in a beer. You literally taste the seeds and the huge jammy sweet notes in that beer. Wonderful tart qualities, a little funk in there. Just amazing stuff. But underrated is Funk Factory, which is a really, really small, just a single person, actually my friend's friend, who is blending and brewing, who's buying beer and blending it. And so one of his beers is Fram Brewed. And we thought, including me, we thought that beer was just as good as Atrial. And Atrial is a highly sought after, highly hyped wild ale. And we thought Fram Brewed was just as good. So a really underrated brewery in Funk Factory / Oso. He collaborates with Oso Brewing. So there you go. That's just a quick recap of some of the highlights that I thought of. And yeah, post below if you've had any of these beers. If you've had any of these beers, post below. If you've have any questions about specific beers, if you want deeper details about what I thought about XYZ beer, let me know. Just ask me anything below about these beers. And until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.